Greetings, and welcome to Megan's Creative Corner. Today we'll be making painted wooden coasters in the theme of the 4 seasons. Let's begin. So I've already got my backgrounds painted, and I'm going to start by drawing out my shapes in chalk. It's nice to do it in chalk because we can erase it if necessary. Now I'll take my orange to paint the shape of the leaf. Once that's done, I'll let it dry and move on to outlining my sun and draw around the little sun rays. Then I'll take my yellow and start painting in the sun. And then while I let that dry, I'll move on to my flower and start drawing out that shape. It's nice to be able to draw this in chalk because then I can adjust as needed. I can erase it as many times as I want. Once I'm happy with the shape, I'll start painting. Already got our yellow. I'll start in the middle with the yellow. Once my first coat is dry, I'll go back over the yellow, fill it in, make it a brighter color. Then I can go around and paint in the sun rays. Make it a happy little sun. And then we'll let those dry and move back to the leaf. And I'm going to take my orange again and add a little deep red to make a nice dark orange for all the detailing. I'll start painting the stem and add in the veins of the leaf and then go around with a nice border. I'll add an outline to give it more definition and make the edges nice and smooth. And then I'll let everything dry and come back tomorrow. So it's the next day. I'm gonna fill in the sun and start on the flower. So here we go. Let's get our yellow. Get that going. Get our medium brush. Here we go. And just touch it up a bit so it's nice and smooth. A little deeper yellow as well. Okay. There we go. Those are filled in a little nicer now. Fill in the sun a little bit more just so we don't have any of the blues showing through. Just clean it up a bit. Alright, there we go. We'll let that dry and we'll move on to the flower. There's no water in there. Oops. So now we're going to move on to the flower, and I've got my light pink and my dark pink for the outlines. So I'll start with that. Light pink. There we go. And I'm trying to get the basic shape of what I've drawn with the chalk, but I don't have to fully cover it because I can erase it later, which is very nice. I'll probably go over the color again just to brighten it up, but I might leave it a little translucent because it will look like a nice, an actual petal. And I don't have to worry too much about the outline because I'm going to go over that with the darker pink to accentuate the shape and give it more definition. Yeah, right now it's very translucent, and I found on the last one I did, once it dries, it's even more translucent, so I'm going to have to go over it a bit more this time. Flower petals are a little translucent, so it's not too bad if we see some of the green through it. So we'll let that dry and we'll draw out our snowflake, which we've got right there. Then use the chalk because we can erase it with water. Okay. Doing this with chalk is nice. I did it with pencil on my previous one, and I had to make sure I went completely over the pencil so it didn't show on my finished product. Using our little brush, we want a nice fine line. I'm even gonna sort of taper it in with using the paint. So we have a nice point there, so it's a nice thin line. And again, we can always make it thicker, we cannot make it thinner, so I'm starting very thin. There we go, that looks good. And the inside can be a little thicker than the stems of the snowflake. I don't know what you would call these. You can see we're covering up the chalk very nicely. Because again, snowflakes are fractals, so they should be roughly symmetrical. But again, nature's not always strictly symmetrical. We've got a little wiggle room. We'll just keep going over it until it's a nice shade of white. dry, and we're gonna fill in the pink on the flower a little bit more, and then do the outline with dark pink. So here we go, let's see. Much more solid. I like a little bit of transparency looked kind of nice, but I think having it a nice solid pink is even better. So now we want our dark pink. For that, and now we do the outline with the petals. Now I don't mind it not being right out on the edge. I kind of like the sketch look of it being a little inside the shape of the petal. I just want to make sure it's a nice solid line. And when we're done with it, we cover it with Mod Podge, and that seals it from any water damage, any condensation from the glasses or anything, and then we're done.